Leaders from across Asia, Europe, and America gathered to discuss peace and security issues at the International Institute for Strategic Studies Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore last week. Timor-Leste's President J. Ramazorta gave a special address in which he highlighted the importance of reconciliation and regional cooperation in a time of global uncertainty.
Diplomacy in action at Asia's premier defense summit. Leaders gathered in Singapore to discuss how states are managing their security partnerships in an increasingly fragmented international order.
Conflict is no longer geographically isolated. Today, we are hyper-connected across borders and across military, economic, information, and cyber domains. Conflicts in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, for example, have disrupted global supply and production chains far beyond those regions.
A war in Ukraine that has a direct challenge to a fundamental shared interest in peace and security. Total casualties in this war, which is now in its 5th year, are measured in the millions of lives lost. This war both illustrate and accelerate the fragmentation pressures.
Timor-Leste's President José Ramos Horta delivered the special address at this year's dialogue, highlighting reconciliation as key to moving forward.
Timor-Leste and Indonesia, a model of reconciliation and partnership. We show that history need not imprison our hearts and minds. History must not imprison nations. Wise leadership and dialogue can turn conflict into coexistence into friendship and trust.
Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Kau Kim Hoon, reaffirmed the Southeast Asian bloc's commitment to cooperation.
With the accession of Timor-Leste as our 11th member, it is a timely reminder that even amid strategic headwinds, the project of regional community building continues, and that ASEAN's answer to a more contested world is not retrenchment, but deeper solidarity, broader partnership, and more purposeful engagement with the challenges of our time.
Meanwhile, President Horta reflected on the challenges faced by Southeast Asian nations.
ASEAN is not heaven on earth. Achieving consensus is frustratingly slow. Diplomacy can disappoint. Disillusionment can produce cynicism. Security challenge persists. The Myanmar civil war is a stain on ASEAN's otherwise impressive catalogue of successes. Nevertheless, in a world where bridges are being burned faster than they are built, ASEAN provides lessons on how sustained dialogue, engagement can safeguard against conflict and deliver shared benefits.
Australia's Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Richard Marles spoke on Asia's maritime security disorder, claiming that a third of the total fish catch in Southeast Asia and the Pacific is illegal.
The fisheries of this region support the livelihoods of nearly 200 million people. Their systemic plunder is not just an environmental problem, it is a security problem.
Last month, Australia and Timor-Leste's defense ministers met to discuss greater defense cooperation between the two countries.
We're also increasing our military capability to work with our partners in Southeast Asia and the Northeast Indian Ocean and the Pacific to prevent conflict and preserve our region's security and prosperity.
Similarly, the United States of America reaffirmed its commitment to peace and prosperity in Asia and the Pacific and to forming new alliances and partnerships across the region.
Our interests in the Pacific are significant, but they are also scoped and reasonable, defined by a favorable balance of power in which sovereignty is respected, commerce flows freely, and nations retain the freedom to make their own choices.
Admiral Dragon concluded the dialogue by echoing a statement highlighted by the United States Secretary of War the day before.
If you want peace, prepare for war. A lesson identified that we keep on repeating. Maybe it is time we finally learn it together so we can move forward.
As some nations build bridges through dialogue and reconciliation, others continue to prepare for conflict in an increasingly divided world. Jerry Madeira, RTTL World News.